Welcome to another MPA Production stream. I am the guild leader from the MPA community. It's a live stream we do Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, where we work on community-related projects, ongoing community collabs. We invite you to join us. We have all our links are wherever you're watching this. Twitch. We're live streaming on Twitch. We're live streaming on YouTube, DLive, and trying to get BandLab going here. You can find a link to our Discord and all our other channels there. All right, I'm going to keep announcements short again today because I just want to get to work. We're going to be knocking out these tracks, these collabs as best we can. Hey, Alpha J, we got a track from Alpha J to listen to just for fun. Feedback. Alpha J wants some feedback, actually. And Diety says hello. Iris says hey. Hello, everyone. Okay, let's check the BandLab one more time, see if it's going. It is not. Okay, so I'll try this one more time. Give me a second. Copy. Stream key. I don't know if it's even copying it. Okay, and then edit settings. Swap out the stream key. Save new stream key. Go live. All right, so we are day 3, halfway through week 6 of season 2, ongoing MPA community collabs, and we've been I've started loading all the samples we've collected from the members. I started loading them into FL Studio projects. Probably the final projects I'm going to be using to finish off the track. Sometimes I'll bounce all the track, if the project gets too messy, I like to bounce the stems sometimes and start a fresh project, but I don't always do that. It just depends on how organized I can stay with the project. Okay, BandLab doesn't seem to be working. I don't know why. It's probably something on my end or whatever, but I was going to try something special with BandLab where I was going to do our normal 2-hour stream, and then I was going to come here to restream IO, and I was going to turn off Twitch and YouTube, DLive, and I was going to continue to stream 1 more hour on BandLab for just listening to music. And I was going to start doing that, but I can't even get BandLab to work to do that test today. So let's go ahead and close out BandLab. We'll skip BandLab today. I'll do something right after this, like a 1-hour thing for BandLab. All right, so as I was saying, this is week 6. So I've been plugging the samples in. I've got I'm not going to do too many announcements today, so I just want to get to work. I'm going to try to knock out 2 tracks. Load 2 tracks. Load the samples. So basically this is how it's happening. So we got the spreadsheet here. It's got to keep us organized. Now, in the previous weeks, we went through and we kind of grouped a bunch of names together based on the samples that were sent, kind of similar samples that would work good together maybe. Now, something else over here. Now, we are selecting samples. This week, I'm selecting samples from these members that we listed here. And I'm starting with 1 sample each just to get everyone on there, and then we'll add the other samples later. So I'm selecting samples from these members' sample packs, the best samples I can find from there that I think would work, and I'm loading them into FL Studio, into the channel, into the template, into all that, getting them ready for later stages, which is arrangement and all that other fun stuff. So we've gotten the first track basically figured out. It's still missing like the wow factor, but we did load a bunch of samples in collab 1, but we'll be back to it, of course. I'm gonna try to knock out collab 2 and collab 3 right now. That's a lot of people, but no big deal. Start with, you know what, to be honest, maybe we don't have to go in order here. Let's skip a couple because I haven't I can predict how some of these are gonna go down. If I want to knock out 2 today, I'm thinking bass gen collab 5 and 4, maybe we can do collab 4 and 5, something like that. We'll knock out 2 today, but I'm loading those samples into FL Studio. I've got the template here. Okay, I'm gonna close Restream. Quick monitor what's going on. Oh yeah, so I got the new camera going on. I'm gonna experiment with that. This camera is mainly for, it's gonna be for different things. Ultimately, I want to make sure I have it here so I can eventually work all these apps into the workflow. You know, like I said, I got a lot of music production apps here, and some of them are really good. And I think adding these, third-party plugins for your VSTs are cool and all that stuff. But if you get a really good way to like route external gear, and this is funny because this is just an iPad. You know how a lot of people will route like external modules and external like sequencers and all that stuff, and they run it back into their DAW. That's no difference. I mean, it's a little different, but it's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm taking advantage of all the apps I have on my iPad, and I've routed the audio into Ableton and FL Studio, and I got it linked with the Ableton link code, or whatever that thing is, Ableton link, and it makes it really easy to take advantage of this. So in future streams, and when we're really getting busy with the songs, and I want to take advantage of more than just FL Studio stuff, we can dive into here. Plus, I'm using it for that little intro I made here. Got little apps there. So messing with that, but now I can turn that on and off. I can turn that on and off. The logo. New little logo up in the top right screen. Anyways, this right here is Image Line Remote. So this is designed for FL Studio. It's linked. So second. Is that coming through? Yeah, so this is just linked to FL Studio's piano roll or whatever right there. But you can actually go to, it has the FPC controller. It has, this is very similar to this guy right here, this Akai Fire designed for FL Studio. It's just the digital version of it, and I think it's free. So I don't know if you use FL Studio, I recommend getting it. It's just the companion app basically. It's got something for SliceX. This is really good. This is for if you're going to use the performance mode. I haven't got this to work, but this is gross beat. I'm sure it's easy. I haven't just figured out how to set it up, but this is already designed for like some gross beat presets. And you got a mixer here. So I'll just have that there, and then we can of course turn that off. Fun stuff. And then I have anyways, I'm trying to get ease of life kind of like adjustments here to make things easier for me. I got the chat up here now because below it I have all the controls for audio and stuff as I was showing yesterday. But all right. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in here. Let's listen to Alpha J's track first, and then I'm gonna jump right in and start loading samples into these projects. This is okay. By the end of this week, well, I don't know how many. It's gonna probably take 2 weeks to do all 10 tracks. I've been thinking a lot, just like last season we had to make some adjustments. If going forward 10 projects starts to be too overwhelming, there's no reason why we shouldn't just like move some projects to a later season or do some kind of schedule where it makes things work out better. But as of right now, if I just stick to the plan, I should be able to knock out the tracks, one day at a time. But there's something to be said about putting your focus on, don't spread yourself too thin. You get too many tracks, you can't really give any one track the attention it deserves. That's why working on less tracks is not a bad idea. So we'll decide if doing 10 tracks is too much, being too, whatever. But if so, we can split it up. If not, if we can go through and just keep the track simple, and just by the end of the season we just have like 10 tracks ready to be remixed or something maybe. We'll mess around. But we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of samples. We got almost 40 people participating in season 2, and it's pretty cool. We got a lot of samples. All right. Alpha J sent me a project on Discord. One announcement. I'm gonna do one announcement because tomorrow we're doing the hardest time just clicking on the Discord I'm trying to go to. Okay. MPA events. Tomorrow I am launching the Producer Battle 11 with all the details. It's going to be simpler than it was last time, and it's going to be simpler than I was explaining. It's going to be 3 rounds, and there will be a dividing of groups, so there'll be more than one winner like last time we did Producer Battle 10. But to start it off, there's not going to be all these categories you have to choose. You're just going to submit your tracks round 1 straight up, and then the tracks will get divided at that point. And round 2, you'll be in a category. This is not Squid Games. I was just playing. I was watching. I was watching someone do commentary on Squid Games, and also commenting that he was a month later than everyone else on his commentary. But I was just like, it reminded me of the fact that I need to create this producer battle, and it's due tomorrow, the 11th. So I mean, all details will come at some point tomorrow. Not right when the clock rolls to 12 midnight. It'll be at some point tomorrow after I wake up. We'll get that posted. Producer Battle 11. You'll need a total of 3 tracks to go all the way through that competition. And you can submit all your 3 tracks at the beginning if you want. It's not a big deal. It's kind of nicer if you want to think more strategic. I would submit 1 each round and kind of select your tracks, because you could submit your old tracks. It can be stuff you already had, and preferably stuff on SoundCloud and YouTube, links you have there to channels that you're actively trying to promote and stuff, and use this, as I keep saying, use the competitions and challenges as just another way to promote your links to your channels and stuff. Because you never know when someone listens that they really do like your stuff, and that they just want to find your stuff really quick. They just want to go, well, I want to follow him on YouTube or SoundCloud at least. And no matter where you're at, even on the smallest communities and smallest events, it's good to just, have that information, accessible. All right. Let's go to Alpha J. Also, can you show this is Alpha J speaking. Can you show what I sent to you in the stream, because I want to hear that from the stream in the mixing and expert. Okay, if anyone's with us still watching, will y'all help Alpha? I'm gonna play this track. Will we give Alpha J some feedback? This is not a regular thing I necessarily do here with the feedback thing, but with Alpha J and regulars and stuff, it's a little different story. Okay. Why? I'm just gonna download it first of all. It's like that little camera's not necessary. It's kind of bugging me, honestly, if I'm not using it. But happy to have it. Okay, so I downloaded that. Show in folder. Close this. Okay, we're gonna first listen to a track from Alpha J before we get started. And if anyone's here with me, still, Alpha J wants a little bit of feedback on it, And a lot of people sent me stuff lately for feedback and stuff, and I know I haven't got to any of the tracks. It is really hard for me to listen to so many tracks and give everyone like honest feedback. So it's more fair for me not to listen to anyone's track until I get the time. And they just stack up. They really do. They stack up, and then all of a sudden there's like too many tracks to listen to. And then when I finally do listen to the track, like I was gonna message Alpha J. I messaged Alpha J earlier and said, "Hey Alpha J, I finally get around to listen to that." They said, "Oh, I already posted it." And I was like, oh, "Okay, my bad." Okay, so this is. I'm just gonna finish setting up screen here. So that's the other camera's cool, but let me just set this up like this. We'll pull up the camera when we need it. In fact, let me turn off my iPad so I don't look like wasting. Okay, so Alpha J track. This is the one who watching this track have a good day. Hey, so the title of the track is a message to all of us. The one who's watching this track, have a good day, sir. All right. Alpha J.
3 years after the fall of Jurassic World, the debate over Isla Nublar rages on. The island's long-dormant volcano, reclassified as active, has shown considerable unrest in recent months. Geologists now predict an extinction-level event will kill off the last living dinosaurs on the planet.
Some excision-style dinosaur reference. The one who watching this track, have a good day, sir, by Alpha J. Okay, I mean, if I want to give some feedback again, it's not gonna. It's just quick first impression feedback. You know, it it seems like you could make it a little beefier, and by that I mean like the high frequencies sound nice, everything sounds full, even the like the spectrum, like looking at the analyzer, looks really solid, like a good smiley face style curve that you'd expect. But it seems like it's missing like the mid bass. Some of my favorite bass stuff is the stuff that came out of that mid tempo genre, and a lot of the all the stuff that started getting popular right after Res started releasing mid tempo stuff. REZZ, where you got that mid bass that's really coming through, and the high frequencies can just be more like, think of like a drum set and cymbals and high shimmers and things like that, and the bass can be like high mids, and then kind of they don't have to be so because then it seems too thin, even though it's bass music. It just seems too thin. I like the track though. I would honestly say it's simple, which is fine, but when it's just as simple as all these other tracks that are out there, what it becomes is just another filler track, another DJ filler track that just slots right into every other track. So to make it stand out and make it different, I mean, the dinosaur stuff is neat and all, but actually it doesn't really stand out because it's just reminded me of Excision. Because Excision made the dinosaur stuff a big part of his style. So I mean, and again, just leaning into that is a good way to make something unique. But dinosaur is almost already kind of taken. Not that you can't do it too, but I would almost think of something else like that. Like, what can I do to my music to make it Alpha J? And every time someone hears it, they're like, "Oh, that's Alpha J." Just like when we hear dinosaurs, we're like, "Oh, Excision." Like when we hear this other thing that you come up with, we're like, "Oh, that's Alpha J." It's really important that you find those identifiers, those things that people can identify your music without even reading the title. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. And if you want to chop it up and use it for the collabs, we can definitely add a lot of that stuff and mess with it like I was talking to. At this point, like I said, it's never too late to send samples, but y'all just heads up, I will be very selective of samples and how we use them now, because as you know, we're almost into week 7 and we've got lots of samples and we need to start getting those samples into the project. And if you get too much samples in the way, it just becomes a big mess. So at this point, it's really good to send me the specific samples, kind of like Subluxa was doing yesterday and stuff, and all along Subluxa been sending me specific samples, and Diddy did this last season very good, sending me specific samples for the songs we're working on. Fox Galaxy sent me some white noise yesterday for the track I'm working on. So specific samples for the tracks at this point are the best way to send samples. The first half of the season was cool because we collected a whole bunch of samples, and we'll always do the collection stages. But in future seasons, I've already decided we're going to do a lot of the maybe collecting before the season even starts, the official season starts. Like, we can start collecting samples for season 3 now. So when we launch season 3, we can have all that stuff ready. And go along with what I'm saying there. If it's season 3 and collecting samples for it, I am in future seasons. I have also decided that I do want to work with loops, as I always do. But if the people sending me content, if it's not too hard to get content this way, hopefully still, I want everyone to send it to me in loops, as in seamless loops that will loop in a looper without having like a tail necessarily or whatever. And if you want to send a tail, you can send the loop version and a tail version, things like that. But that's future season. It's going to make it all easier for all of us to get right into making the music. Doesn't make it feel like 7 weeks go by before we even start building the tracks, things like that. So as I was saying yesterday, I've learned a lot from season 2 and season 1. So season 3 and each season will get better as we go. We keep going. So all right, let's start loading these samples. I loaded up a fresh. I'm actually gonna load up an even fresher one. MPA Community Collab template. I'm gonna pull up the spreadsheet. I'm gonna pick a track. I think we're gonna start with Collab 5. No, let's start with a big one. Let's start with Collab 4. Just random, almost just picking randomly, really, at this point. But I do want to do 5, Collab 5, and then probably just Collab 4. And we're gonna jump around until we get the ones that selected that we're definitely gonna be using for season 2. So fresh template, flip back. This. I want a third monitor, but I mean, honestly, I don't know how much more taxing on the CPU and the computer is it to run a third monitor and the visual. I don't know if it causes a problem. I've always been the type of person like scared to even try something if I think it's going to cause a problem, but I try to get over that because really you should give everything a good test to see if it's a problem. Like multicasting and doing certain things. I'm like, oh, that might be too overwhelming for my computer, so I don't even try it. Sometimes it's not a good mindset because like your computer might be completely capable of doing what you have in mind. Until you really give it a test and multiple tests, you're not going to know. So, like I said, I wouldn't mind. Subluxa, I was just talking about you. Not really. We're just getting started. Subluxa, if you have some tracks released, at least 3, or if you think you can finish 3 by the end of the competition, we're doing Producer Battle 11 starting tomorrow. So everyone prepare at least 1 track to submit tomorrow. I'll go around door to door knocking, asking everyone if they want to submit a track. And I'll just grab all the tracks. And then from round 1, we're going to, and after round 1, I'm going to split the tracks up in a clever way to continue the competition. And then round 2, you'll submit a second track, which will be basically a week later. Subluxa has been live streaming. Subluxa, if you want to keep to schedule, I recommend streaming like you did yesterday, right after this stream. Maybe you can catch a lot of the viewers from here at the end and stuff. And Deity Dubs says, I recently found out that my computer can run the new game Forza Horizon 5 on the highest settings. The only drawback is no longer connect to online, which is fine. Why can't it connect online? You're saying when you run it to high settings, it can't also run like your Ethernet connection and your network connection, or for some other reason. And I think KP was just in here talking about that game yesterday. So Blux is doing 2 streams. Get it? Yeah, I'm gonna start doing 2 basically. I'm gonna do the BandLab stream. I do recommend the schedule. A strict schedule is not for everybody. Some people just need to work in the flow and just kind of go when they feel like it. And they feel like streaming, they'll stream music production. But schedules have been consistency, and the schedule has been one of the best things that started working out for me. I'm just getting things going here with what I really want for the production stream and just live stream going forward. But consistency, set schedule was that turning point that got people to actually pay attention. I think that, and I think just having a good project in mind. Whatever. The blessings. I hope to see y'all. You and Deity. Okay, so let's start knocking these samples in. So let's go knocking these samples in. Does that make sense? Has anyone ever said that? Let's knock these samples into this project, everybody. Open this spreadsheet. Let's start with just Ira's here. Let's start with Ira's track. Start with this track right here, Collab 4. I'm gonna first look for the drum beat. So let's go through some of these packs here and look for the drum beat. Collab 4, it's 160 beats per minute, 80 beats per minute halftime. This is that one. Ooh. Oh, this should not be the one. Actually, you know what? I just saw this. That made my head hurt right now when I saw this 2-key thing. It split my head in this weirdest way and gave me a little bit of a headache. We were talking about it in the Discord today. I saw someone talking about it. Let me open that back up. Mr. KK was asking about I got a question about Collab 4. It has 2 different keys. And then Indicted came in and even mentioned how we're planning to do different keys. Which I haven't heard the 2 different keys. So just picking 2 random keys for a key modulation so randomly like that just doesn't feel right. But that goes right into what I was saying about we might have too much samples to work with for just one season. We might be splitting that up. I came back and said, oh yes, we might try that because I don't know if we're actually still gonna do that. I think we can try. If it feels right, we will. F sharp minor to D minor. How does that sound? I don't know. What are some of the famous modulations out there? One of the most famous is the Queen song. Queen does some famous ones. If you look up key modulations, it's special. You can do it just right, but I'm not. You know. Anyways, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But I tell you right now, I am gonna skip that one for now. Let's do Collab. What's the other one with Ira? You know what? Let's do Collab 4, but let's not bring in any of the. Let's start with the 1 key. Let's not do the 2nd key. Let's just do this so we can figure this out now and get it out of the way. We're doing Collab 4. Let's go to the Mr. KK sample. Let's go to Ira samples first. Ira, what key are your samples in again? You don't have to answer that. I'm just gonna I'm gonna figure it out as soon as I open this pack up. My MPA samples online, MPA collected samples. Sorry I didn't have this planned before I started and just y'all had to sit there and listen to me figure it out. But I had to decide what I wanted to do. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Collab 4, and we're gonna figure out which key and who is gonna be on Collab 4 and who might get moved to a different track. And we'll also decide if maybe we really do want to try a key modulation. So I'm gonna jump down here to the public pack. And go to back 160. So let's work with F. So Ira, you're running F major on. Okay. Let me listen to this. I'm just gonna listen to this for a second, make sure it is F major, right? That's what I labeled it, Ira. You know, I'm not gonna remember from what we talked about, but I was hoping that I labeled everything correctly, so I wouldn't have to remember. Did we have an F major key? Let me look at the spreadsheet again. It says Collab 4 is F sharp minor or a D minor. I wonder why I put you on this one. F sharp minor, and your stuff is F major, or did I just label it wrong? Let's take a good listen to it. What's up, Sub Alexa? Question. Yeah, we never really agreed on the key or nothing. It's almost a really sloppy project. I want to. You've been here all along. You sent me 2 projects. I really want to revolve one of the collabs around one of your projects. So, you know, what should we do? Sublexa has a question. Feel free to ask. Why am I not going in order? Is that your question? Your deeper question, Sublexa? I don't know. Again, I just go with like my gut instinct. I feel like not doing number 2 right now because it's just gonna. I don't know. Good question. I skipped it because I know what this track entails, the Fox Galaxy track, and I've got to copy the arrangement from the Fox Galaxy track. This track here, 128, was heavily inspired by Fox Galaxy's track and the arrangement of Fox Galaxy's tracks. So I need to open up the Fox Galaxy original project, map out the arrangement, and get it. So I knew that it was going to take a little bit more preparation. But a bigger answer to your question is I never planned on going in order. In fact, this might not even be the order of the tracks when they come out. This is kind of more just me filling out the spreadsheet. I am trying to decide if I want to even work with Collab 4 now at this point, because it's kind of a mess as far as keys. So I'll let y'all vote. I don't want to do Collab 2. I don't want to do Collab 4 right now. What collab do y'all want me to work on? Subluxa, Anditi, Ira. Ira, we'll figure out how to get one of your tracks fully involved in here for sure, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared of like major key stuff, because when we have a major key samples and we don't have many other people sending me major key stuff, it's just harder to mix the things together. So again, some of these will be more challenging than others, and I'm up for the challenge, don't get me wrong. You want to work in Collab 8? All right, let's do it. I can do major key relatives to the minors, but then I can't really revolve the track around. I can make it a major key track and then take everyone else's samples and then kind of do like the minor key relative to that major, but you're still getting very surgical there. You sent me the other project here, which is actually really nice. 90. Is that B major? Both your tracks major key, huh? Okay, well, we do have major key projects, but now that I look more into it, Ira, I'm gonna have to mix you with one of the other major key projects. You get me drift. So we have Collab 6 A major. And we can make Collab 4 a major key, but we're going to take a lot of these people off, and we can, no problem, I don't mind doing that. I really think what's going to come down here is we're going to do like, just like we shifted a couple of the other people, I think we're going to basically have a lot of the samples ready for season 3, and we're going to do an immediate season 3 right after season 2, and do the whole other set of second tracks if we want to really do that. Or we're going to have to get, because if we can narrow our focus down on like half of these or something, we can start to finish them off, and it's still going to be really fun. We got a lot of stuff here, and then we move into the other ones to finish them off. But we'll see how it goes. Let's do Collab 8. But my main goal is to the people that have been most involved, showing up to the chats, showing up to the streams, messaging me back, asking me how things are going, monitoring the replays. Those are the people I really want to get involved with season 1. The people that are just kind of involved, which, I understand everyone has different, they're busy in life and all that stuff, different levels of engagement, but we don't, moving into season 3, it's not going to be forever from now before we're doing that, so it's not a big deal. Collab 8, it's 630 BPMs. I'm going to set FL Studio at 315 beats per minute. This is a C# minor track, and I'm going to start mainly with the Reba samples because Reba inspired this track. So here we go. Only 40 minutes into it, and we are off. Subluxa says, I'm worried I'm too engaged. I don't think so. I was gonna say something, but yeah. I mean, too engaged. That's only a bad thing if you're like expecting. You can only be too engaged into something and too into something if you're expecting more than what it really is, and you're like getting stoked for like the possibilities of what it could become in the future. You know what I mean? But I just want you to understand, Subluxa, that very much you're very much tuned into an early stage of what all this is, which is just a fun project that we started in the community here recently. So there's nothing professional, there's nothing like, there's no minute, there's no, anything goes. So in the future, I would like to see this get a lot more people get excited about it, to the point where, I have to question like turning it into something bigger, and like how serious do we want to get it. But as of right now, it seems pretty, like, I try to make it like this eventful thing, but really it's just a fun project. I like your engagement, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's see here. Let's go. I'm gonna put this at, I think the highest that FL Studio goes up to is 522. Someone told me that the other day. So 522, which is not fast enough for us. We're gonna put this at 315, and we're just gonna double the resolution for every, double the speed of everything in the project itself at 315. Okay, any of these samples that aren't stretched already, we're gonna kind of have to stretch them, but I think most of them are that were sent to this project are ready for 315. Well, not actually most of them, like half of them, and the other half we're gonna have to kind of move them around to get them to fit if we really want to get these people in here. I've just been selecting the people all along. If someone really wants to be part of one, let me know. Alpha J, you wanted to be part of like 3 that you picked from the beginning. Just remind me of which ones those are and make sure you get in on them. Collab 4. I mean, here's the thing. By replacing it, we can replace it, but we need to make sure all the people that are involved that with the collab still have a collab. So that's the most important thing. So however we can do that the most clever way. Like I said, I want to revolve a track around Ira's track. So it's either going to be an 80 beat per minute F major or a 90 beats per minute B major. That's what I'm looking at here. Or if we can maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. So we need to work with something like that. But let's come back to that later. Very important that, yeah, as we go along and we're coming up with this idea together and we're designing this together, that we just make sure it is simple. That, like, everything we come up with, that we do kind of keep it simple, so nothing does become overwhelming for us to do. That's when it stops being fun, is when it's like too much to do, too short of a deadline, everybody's waiting. That's when the fun leaves. So we gotta keep everything like practical. All right, let's go back to, we're opening up a Reba pack now. Let's go. Looking mainly for a drum beat first. See what Reba sent. You know what? Subluxa sent the drum beat at. I'm gonna go quickly over to Subluxa. Used 315 drum beat. We're gonna start right with that. All right. I have a audio sampler like loaded up here just for drum loop. I'm just gonna drop in Subluxa's 315 BPM drum loop. This sample here. Thing is, I want to do 2 versions of this. This is 315. I want to get one that's like going at 630. So I'm gonna stretch this down also. So I'm gonna make 2 versions of this. Let's just start with this loop right here. I'm gonna load all the samples into the project and get them all into this column, like this loop bars, 17 to 32. Sublux is going to make a 630 beat. All right, cool. You can use these same samples if you want to make sure that fits together. If you still have them. And yeah, you sent some good drum beats. We got the last track we were working on was also a lot of your drum. I decided though when I was sleeping last night, I'm gonna chop up your drum beat a little for like the break and stuff. So we have that one drum beat you sent, and we can also chop it up to make like different variations of it. Because once I chop it up, I got all these different spots on the template here for the kick, the snare, hats, rides, crash, stuff like that. If you really want to send it in a better way, render out the kick, the snare, the hat, and you can still do loops, but render out the kick loop, snare loop, hat loop if you want to do that, if you feel like it. All right, let's drop some of these in here. So Subluxa drum beat. I dropped it in here. Drop it right here. Get it out 4 times. Gain stage it. There. So this is 32 bit. Gonna normalize it there. The shorter the samples, the better. If we can make it, you know what? So let's open up a Transient Shaper on this. Got the Transient Processor. Is that what it's called? Okay. I don't know how to use this fully yet, but let's see if we can figure it out. trying to make it tighter. Nice. Some of y'all might remember from last season, but remember this template has that growth speed on the master track, which makes it really easy for transitions and stuff. And I think it's gonna be really good for this project here too. So, example, go growth speed time, growth speed. Go. I just want to test it out. Growth speed time, growth speed volume. I don't need the volume. Let's just go this and that. Growth speed on the master track, like DJ effect style. 2, 3, 4. Let's go here. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just need this. So actually, this one can just 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not gonna stay like this. I just wanted to go ahead and play around with it. When feeling inspired to do something creative, sometimes you just jump on it because you might come up with something nice, you know. I would actually go in and like, those are just preset growth speed effects. I'd go in and I would just actually pick 4 random spots, or pick the first 4, and then go in and like adjust those 4 actual ones that I adjusted. So you're not just randomly picking presets. I mean, I like that one. So let's see what the first one is. It's this preset here, but you know, just like adjusting presets on a synth, you can come in here and do growth speed and adjust the preset. So I already have it selected there in the project. So instead of like moving it around anymore, I just come in here and go, okay, I'll adjust this. Let's go. You know, just a quick adjustment. Yeah, grab this. You know what? I'm not really thinking. I would do like delete that, do I guess curve. Do I don't know. That's not that cool. Maybe like this. I want to do something neat. All right, that's enough. Made a little drum thing. Anyways, that was like whatever. I'd rather just stick with the presets as far as I was concerned with that. Sometimes just move it around a little. You got to really know your way around growth speed. I've done better stuff in the past, no problem. But you know, I mean, presets are there for a reason. Growth speed stuff. Let's just maybe we'll use that. I'll just mute it for now. All right. Alexa says I just sent a new drum beat. It should be in the not public pack. Also, can you make the not public pack of mine like back up into the public pack? Yes. You want me to take all the stuff in that pack and put them into the public pack? Or stuff when we're done with the public pack, use the other one as backup? Do that for sure. Okay, so at least for a little while until I run out of storage. At some point, we're gonna have to archive a lot of people's samples, and by archive I mean we'll move them somewhere else. But it's a shared Google Drive for 100 gigabytes is what I have on there, which I think is fine for now. But anything that gets put on there automatically gets downloaded to my. Well, it gets scanned first, but it gets scanned and then downloaded to my computer and my MacBook and stuff. So gotta be careful with not filling it up. But we're definitely going to archive everyone's samples that got involved with this for sure. Keep everyone's name on it best I can. All right. Again, phone is ringing. So I'm going to take a drink of water, answer my phone real quick, and we'll get right back into this and we'll start moving along. That's why I'm thinking one track a day would probably be more realistic, but no problem. All right, first I'm going to go to so what happened is Subluxa just now sent, Subluxa has access to their Google, their pack on the Google Drive like some of the others do, and they just sent a sample to the pack. So I'm just going to go over here to the pack. I'm going to hit refresh. I'm going to go to Subluxa's pack. This is in the not used, a 630 drum beat. So let's drop this in. Another way I could do this to make this quicker. Go over here and hit clone. Clone that channel. Open this up and then just replace it with that. Okay, and now I'm just going to insert a track here and paste that new sample there with the really long tail. Is the first one the kick, or is there a kick supposed to be missing there? All right. Kirk is the first one. Okay, cool. That and there. Now I'm just gonna delete that tail. All right, I'm gonna mute the bottom one and let's listen to the new drum beat. First, let's gain stage it down. Perfect. Actually, let's turn it up a little. Oh, it's because I already had to turn it. Remember, this genre is kind of one of those crazy, fast, super fast genres. If you're not used to it, let's get a little, let's get a little experimental with it and try to have some fun. But for the most part, I'm not quite experienced with the genre either. I want to do it justice. It is a really fast genre. Reba picked splitter core because it's not the fastest of all those genres, so they figured it'd be a little easier for us to handle. 630. I think this sounds good for what I can tell. I want to process this a little. this is what we do. I would do something like, yeah, we're not going to do too much of the editing now. That's for like next week and stuff. But just first thing I start thinking of, I would, you know, you could chop into these. Let's just try this first. Don't really blend together, so I would actually do something more like, I would do something more like this. At certain parts of the song, we can use the other drum beat, mix it up or whatever. But for the most main riff, we'll probably just pick one of them, and then maybe drop one, have one beat, drop two, be halftime. So we can use one for the halftime, one for like the main riff. But this is like the 630, so yeah. Okay, so there we go. Give it a different. Let's give it its own mixer track. Is that just here? Track 34. Okay, so I'm giving this new drum beat its own mixer track, so that the transient processor that we're using on the other beat doesn't affect it. I actually don't want to affect this one, so I'm gonna move this one to track 34. Again, I can do most of the recoloring later. I'm not going to bore y'all with that, but I'm just color that green and turn this EQ setting here on. Okay, it's gonna be an interesting one because I don't think we can sidechain that fast unless we get really. I mean, I know we can, but we're gonna have to be more surgical with our sidechain stuff. Anyways, we're gonna not sidechain much on this track. We're just gonna have to fit everything together. Have some really micro sidechain. It's my understanding that really, if all the samples are cut to the sizes of the grid, and they're all like really short samples, is how like a lot of like, you know, drum, like the really really like detailed drum and bass and really fast genres work. So you're not really having to sidechain that much because the samples themselves are already designed to fit together in a way, you know what I mean? So everything's just either smaller samples or in their own frequency spectrum, or you know, if you add a little attack to something where the little click goes away, the transient goes away, and it's a little smoother, that's almost like sidechaining. It's on the downbeat because it's not it's like taking a second to come up. So certain sounds, they don't have a sharp attack. They have like, you turn up the attack a little so it's smoother. You know, that stuff's not going to interfere with the perky drums as much as others. So just choosing your sounds right, designing your sounds right, stuff like that. There's other ways to get things to fit. Okay, so that's drum beat. Let's go to, I'm just going to quickly look through this pack one more time. The public pack, Subluxa. So we've used everything you've sent, right, for this track. This other stuff, 348, 174, is for this 174 track, collab 1 and stuff, mainly. After we get this track going, feel free to send some more stuff. But before we do that, let's go get one sample from everybody on the list. So I'm gonna open up the spreadsheet here. Reba. Let's go back to the Reba pack. Going to Reba. Got a lot of kick drums here. We're gonna definitely use these kicks here, and so different parts of the songs and what I'm not gonna make any decisions yet, but we can knock out like the downbeat kick on just like every 4th bar, or something, or every 8 bars or something like that, and do like some of these crazy bass things. Think of these more as like bass for the track, not like the actual kick. Oh my gosh, that's the best thing I've ever heard. Let's just listen to this 3 more times. Exciting. Guild, I have an idea. What is your idea? And ID. So Blexus says I could take my max. Yes, actually, your track, your vomit rack is gonna come. It's gonna be perfect for this track. I was already actually thinking that. Those samples you sent from there. I was listening to them yesterday. We were gonna try to make chords out of them. And I was like, these aren't good for chords. These are good for like stabs stuff. So yeah, let's get an Andiety sample from the vomit rack pack and throw that in here. We'll do that. Let's do Andiety. Let's do you right after Reba samples. Let's go. And then Subluxa is gonna send me whatever. We'll mess with it whenever I get the time. Okay, so the main sample I want to get in here is that one. I want to get this in there. What are we going to call this? Is this bass? I mean, if you look at the frequency spectrum way at the top, that little bitty, I can hear the sub and it's just really chucky. Let's see. Yeah, let's do bass. So I'm gonna pick track 10. I'm gonna drop this one shot in there. Paint it here. Definitely want to turn this up. Okay. And I'm just going to stage this one. Okay, so here's something we need to realize about this track is I think like what we're hearing here is kind of the way these drum beats are usually done in these tracks right here. Like if you listen to this, oops, let's go mute the other drum beat. Like we're gonna mix it. Like I said, that's the reason why these tracks are really more experimental than anything, because I'm just trying to be creative and mix everybody's samples together. So we really can't like really get too picky. But if you listen to this, that's almost like the kick. That's almost like the kick drum, basically. So what this is missing is the hi-hats, the snares, all the other stuff that goes around it. But this is basically the kick drum pattern. The kick and bass, if anything. This genre uses those clicky, those sticky style trance kicks or whatever. They're really like artificial style synth kicks, and that's what this is here. Hold on, Subluxa. I keep going back to your samples, and it's causing me not to get to everyone else's samples. So I want to get through everyone else's samples here. We'll mess around with it at some point. I hope this inspires y'all also, like Subluxa, at some point, if you're really feeling motivated, you can download the same samples, the same ones I'm using, and then send me what you're talking about sometimes too. If you really want me to do something with the track, make like a quick demo version of it yourself, and then you can send me some demo versions. I'd like to see other people do versions too. Because again, the versions I release are basically the guild version, like guild versions, as in like, and then it would need to be the Subluxa version and Deity version at some point, you know. Here we go. But I am gonna get your samples in. I want to get the best samples we can find here. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could tell. Okay, so we need to revolve the track around this. So fitting the other drum beats in there, we're gonna do it in a clever way, I think. I don't know how that way is. It might have a lot to do with filter in it, but that's crazy. So let me just go here. Let me un-EQ all these changes I made because, you know, I wasn't doing it. Yeah, it needs to be turned up, but I was looking at the limiter. Actually, it's pretty low right now, so let's push that up. I was kind of like to pull out your kick and replace it with kind of their kick. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try it. Let's turn this up now. This is just a sub layer of theirs, and I got a cough. That didn't help. Okay, let's turn yours up. Best way to do it. Let's go and throw it right here. Sorry. Turn down. Oh, you can hear click. I hear some click coming through. Is that the bass and the drum maybe working together very good? Let's listen again. I'm hearing like some... Okay, kind of. Yeah. So hollow. We're gonna have to turn off the reverb I added to it. Actually, there is no reverb. Ah. Reset. Okay, that's just the sub. Let me EQ that sub. Okay, let's EQ the top part of the sub. Oh man, there's so many things you could do with this kick to give it its own character that making a decision is kind of... I need to go listen to some of this genre. I'm gonna mute the drum beat for a second. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on this. We need to drop people's samples in. I was just dropping these in. Like, you have a choice here. Like, you push this here, and this bass comes all about like this neat texture down here. But really, then you got to get everything else out of the way. But if you pull this down, maybe boost it here or whatever, it becomes about this nice, clicky, beautiful, texture-y stuff right here. Which that sounds even better. Let's do that. That's 2,600, 26,000. What is that? 2,000, 2,100,000 hertz. Okay, 20,000 hertz. So we go over to... Forgive me why I go over here and correct myself. Around 2,000 hertz. Let's go back over to the other sound on the drum beat. Yeah, I was already ducking it there. Okay, it's cutting through. I mean, it's some crazy surgical. Okay, let's leave this being for now. I don't want to make too many crazy changes on it right now, but we'll mess with it. We'll make this all work. This is a crazy track. I don't even know how this is all gonna sound. Got a second bass to bring in here. The kick. So Alexa says the kick is overpowering things. Yeah, honestly, and I have a different idea altogether. When I was thinking of this genre, I just wanted to make a really, really, really tight kick that sounds like a rapid machine gun shooting, you know. I wanted to do things like that. So we've got a lot of different things here. It's gonna be best if we just start putting in more samples for now and come back to that later. Sublex, you are Sublex. I made you VIP over there on the Twitch, also, by the way. Anyone else? It still only lets me give 10 VIPs. It says I can give 20 once I get to another like level of Twitch activity. But there's nothing special about that, everyone. I just want y'all to know that the way I'm doing it is just whoever I see more often on Twitch is more likely to show up as who I'm giving my VIP. That way, the VIP seems to kind of be a neater thing when all the VIPs show up and stuff. So, again, I don't know. There's nothing special, but I think if we can get more people talking, more active people, I can then grant more VIPs to more people, and it's just good for community. We can think of better uses for it at some point, but it's all about. Why I said that is since you're over there, be sure to I don't know what time zone you're in. I think you're actually an hour behind me, so it'd be no problem. But what I'm saying is I go live at late at night sometimes once we get to this stage in the track, because I gotta like come back and work on the songs when I'm feeling inspired, and I'll knock out a lot of this stuff sometimes after hours. So be sure to turn on the notifications on your Twitch, everybody that wants to catch those after hour streams that I do on Twitch, where I come in and really make some like great headway in some of these tracks or whatever. See here. Okay, so let's come back to your sample after we get through this list here. Let's go to Anxiety samples. I'm gonna try to see if I can find something here to use in the, I guess almost like a lead slash chunky thing. Maybe another bass. Anything we get from here is gonna be like. Okay, so Anxiety, we're looking for the Vomit rack, which is an effects rack that Anxiety made, and they've been running samples through to get like different sample processes and stuff. All the samples are 150, so we're gonna be stretching them around. But the thing is, if you think about it, what's half of 315? Half of 315 is weird. Because 15 is split in 315. So anyways, 315 divided by 2 is 175.5. I mean 157. What did I say? 175.5. Dyslexic. 157.5. Meaning your samples aren't far off. We just speed your samples up like 7.5 and then chop them up. Should fit in. Here's the effects rack. Thought I'd send it to you. Let's take a look at it. I don't know if I have all the plugins for it. Effects rack. Let's drop it in just to take a look at it. Let's drop it in a blank one here. All right, so this is the Vomit rack. Starts with an EQ, OTT, some effector effects, destructor, vocodec effects, again with the vocoder, the effector, some wave shaping, like that, fruity stereo enhancer, some more effector, and finished off with a limiter. And it looks like this last effector is you have this volume turned all the way down. Some of these are at different settings. Do you automate this last effector here? Nice. I see what you're saying. The funky kills cop. Did you sample that? No. I always get to listen to the clips. People don't really ever get any good ones, I think. Sometimes. I gotta go. Alright. I'm generally laughing. Yeah, I go and listen to those clips sometimes. I think a lot of people are just pointing out weird, awkward moments when they clip things. Just like you just did. Sometimes people clip cool clips from the song or whatever. It wouldn't be necessarily what I clip, but anyways, I've deleted a lot just because yeah, so Untitled sent that track, and it is designed to send samples and stuff too, so we'll do that at some point. I don't know if I'm gonna do it right this second. That's another reason why I really want to make sure we have different stages designed specifically for given time to things like that, because that'd be fun. It makes for a good stream. I don't want to feel like we're always just rushing through each stage. We need to really take our time with each stage and realize that's why we're here. We're not here to quickly get through it. We're here to like do exactly what we're doing. So I don't know if I'm the only one that needs to like realize that, or if everyone needs to, but I always have to remind myself, like, yo, this is why we're here, is just to work on this song. I don't what happens, I get this checklist and I get all these people and I get all this project and I feel like I got to get it all knocked off by the end of the week. And that's what I'm saying. When it becomes too much, it becomes too much. Just go ahead and Diety, first thing I'm gonna do, I already got a lot of your vomit samples here. What I want to do is grab some of your samples here and see if we can't use them on this track somehow. So definitely some basses. I like this first one. It's already sounds like it's rapid. So let's pull this first bass in. We'll do a track 11. Listen, I'm gonna drop it here. Like, we're gonna have to do some time stretch on it, but it shouldn't be a big deal. It's not that much. I'm gonna put it at 157.5. So go. M50. Is that not working? Oh. Auto tech. Interesting. Okay, let's turn this. Yeah, I definitely want to use this for this. Ira, are you still Ira, are you still with us? Or did you fall asleep? I want you to know that, like, with as far as your project goes, your tracks you sent me perfect samples. I just want you to know that my goal is, the reason why I skipped it for now is because I want to make sure your tracks get used over. Like, I do have a priority in my head of certain people based on how much they've been involved, how long they've been waiting around for their stuff to get used, the quality of the samples that were sent, and stuff. So I'm spending this time to select best stuff. So when we make our final selections, one of the tracks, basically, everyone, I want y'all to know, we need to revolve around one of those two projects that are in the IRA pack. Sukia IRA pack, you'll see in there in the public pack. You either need to do an 80 BPM or 90 BPM, or we need to find a way to fit those two projects, one of the two projects, into one of the other ones, but it's a major key project, so we're gonna figure that out. That is, just wanted to say that because it was on my mind. Okay, so I really like the way this sounds here. This is a bass that I got from Untitled pack. It's a C, so we kind of want to pitch it around. What is this project supposed to be? It's Colab 8 C sharp minor, so it only needs to go up 1 E. Pitch. Sounds really good with the, let me go EQ. Okay, so let's turn off the bass from Reba first. Go to the drum beat here again. Going to store that. Store and state, and then I'm gonna hit reset. That's so you can compare, but I'm just doing that to save that other one. I'm gonna go up right here to that, and go. That's the sub layer of Andides bass, and here's the top part. As you can look at the limiter, it's clipping like crazy, but that's not how I like to mix. I don't like to smash the limiter. So basically, the puzzle for me always is trying to find a way to sidechain and mix and EQ to make it not clip so much here by keeping the samples as loud as I can. Sometimes just volume control, but you know, that's what I'm always monitoring. I know everyone has a different way of mixing at the end of what they're monitoring. I don't like to mix into a limiter. And so, but I still try to get everything gain stage as loud as possible. And then I try to get those samples to sound good together without having to turn one of them down too much unless it needs to be low. So I do that through side chaining and EQing, and then choosing what the most important sounds are and stuff like that. This, like I said, is gonna be really hard to sidechain because of how fast it is. But let's try it. Let's try to see what this sounds like opposed to turn on the sidechain here. We'll start with the sub. First, I have to take that new drum track and run it here. Weird. Oh, that's just the sub, that's why. It's a nice sound though. Let's sidechain the top part. Run like a okay, now see how the limiter is not, it is picking up peaks there. You know, I can clean that up some more too, but like, that's not as bad as it was. That's telling me there's just some peaks coming through that, you know, those kind of peaks there. Ozone cleans that stuff up. So that is kind of like mixing into a limiter. Even I'll still try to clean that stuff up. Even in my mixes, but I just want y'all to know that like I'm seeing this limiter. Just kind of explain how I mix again. I'm seeing this limiter now with those adjustments with the side chain on, even though it might not sound the way we want it yet, but I am seeing that the control over here is it's controlling it better than it was. So I still, without having to control too much volume, I still got the sub and the drum going like crazy here. Turn off the drum beat. Now if I turn off the drum beat, I see it's clipping without the drums. That means it's just too loud. I need to turn it down. It's not gain stage properly yet, so I can a couple different ways. I can just turn it down here. There. Now it's not clipping. I'll turn back to drums. Sorry, I feel like the chat might be talking. Hey, 100 messages! Who got the 100th message? Subluxa wins the prize of the day, which is a shout out. Shout out to Subluxa. Iris says, not me making a whole concept for this album now. Iris says, not me making a whole concept for this album now. No, I just there's just so many samples came in and so many different people, and there's certain projects that basically first people I got a hold of. Well, you were one of them, and sent me a project right away. I don't want it to feel like all those samples don't really fit and it didn't get a home. I want the projects to maybe revolve around like more complete ideas is what I was. Uh, we threw a whole bunch of people into. Really, we ended up with more people than we should have, but I don't mean that in a bad way because actually I want as many people as involved as possibly we can. But we ended up with more people than we need for one season, I think. I think going forward in future seasons, maybe we should limit it to 25 people, 20, 25 people, not 30 to 40. I mean, not 40 people. It's almost too many people. But I want as many people involved as possible. So, um, a big part of this even feeling active is because the people that participate and watch the stream are also the people sending samples. So the more people we got involved, the more active the stream is. Which the more active the stream is, the better the stream is. The better the stream is. So it's a double-edged sword. It's like kind of like I don't know. I can't think of the best analogy, but yes, if you can come up, I mean, we need visual concepts and ideas for the track. And Daddy's gonna run off get some food. So Bluxo was the last thing you think. Could you turn on the other part? Yes, let's hear some of the other parts here. Mess around with this. Pull in a few more samples. These two basses won't go good together. Probably. Yeah, no, they're not. We're gonna find a way to. We're gonna chop those up and use them at separate times, not play them at the same time. All right, let's get this completed. We got these two beats. I like the way that sounds on Daddy. And Daddy will pull more, but I'm pulling one sample from each person right now until we get everyone a home, and then we'll pull them. I can think of so many other ways we could do collabs on live streams. So I just want everyone to know that in the future, we could do different styles of collabs. Like we could do where we just start one song and finish the song before we move on to another collab. We can do we could pick like 3 people and do a collab all in one day, maybe a quick little jingle or something. So I just want you to know, so season 2 will continue the way we originally had it planned. We'll try our best to figure out the best way to finish it off. But in the future, let's just try all different ways to do things for sure. So it's not so, because it's a cool concept, but then at some point it's kind of weird how so we're just randomly picking. Anyways, let's just go with it. Let's just see what happens. So here's this beat. Really like this beat. What is that bass though? It's got a sub. Oh, never mind. That's my neighbor bassing right now. I was like, whoa, there's some sub. I mean, this. So I want to use both these drum beats. One for one drop, one for the other, maybe. But I'm also going to make a big part of this song all about this thing here. And I got some other one-shots from Reba. We're going to use this from Indiety. You know what that could use is like a limiter. I mean, like a little bit of compression. There. Or reverb. It's an ugly reverb for this kind of bass. Down now. Yeah, that sounds nice. No, okay. All right. Let's go. So gotta go. So Lux says I want to hear the liquid sound, my drum beat, and the kick loop. I want to hear the liquid sound, my drum beat, and the kick loop. The main focus and the full kick, not just it's the play. I'm lost. We only got I'm gonna have to. We can't play both those beats at the same time unless a sidechain one with the others. We'll figure it out. Anyways, I'm going to mess with that later. I'm gonna keep moving on here for now. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Subluxa. I would like to hear what you're talking about by you just dropping them into your DAW real quick. Maybe if you work on the live stream, because you're about to live stream here in 30 minutes, drop those samples in. You got access to all of them and do exactly what you're talking about. I would like to hear it. Foxy Galaxy! This is the first one. This is collab 8. Yeah, the extra tone project. Actually it's splitter core now. Yeah, it's let me show you the samples now if you're just getting here, Fox. We got this beat from Subluxa. We have this beat from Subluxa. I really like the way that one's. We have this bass from Untitled. And we have this bass from Reba. Kick bass. I don't know what it is. Wow, when I EQ'd it, that little EQ adjustment, you can see it big time in the frequency spectrum. And got lots of room. Fox says, I need someone to guide me through extra tone or whatever tone. It's 630 beats per minute, and it needs to really sound like it's super fast. So you can't just like do like a division of that necessarily too much. You can divide it to 315. And if you listen to it, it's the sounds themselves are going so fast that it almost starts making up what they call like an extra tone. So like, if that was like a rapid sample, and it becomes like a new sound, like kind of like that. But I haven't listened to enough of it to figure out like the coolest sounding tracks. Splitter core, and splitter core is just a slower version of that fast stuff, because like the fastest stuff is all like 1,000 BPM. Splitter core, I can't remember the exact definition of splitter core, but it was one of the slower versions of it. Hey, I'm getting a little more lost. This project is more complicated than season 1. There's so many samples, so many opinions, and so much stuff coming in that I'm really just gonna have to. There's gonna be a lot of samples that don't get used. Put it that way. Okay. There's that. I'm gonna go to this list one more time. I need to find a better workflow for this too, so we get more done on stream. So Alpha J. So we got a Reba sample, we got a Subluxa sample, we got an Untitled sample. So let's check the Alpha. Alpha J hasn't sent me any samples. That's the problem. Alpha J, I don't know if you're still here, but the only reason why I haven't been pulling your stuff in is because you never actually really sent me anything for these specific projects. So we're gonna work with that later, Alpha J. Inski and Zandit, much like the Untitled samples for this, actually no, Untitled had a loop, but I just sped it up a little. Inski and Zandit samples are pretty raw, so let's pull some of those in. Got Zandit and Inski. A couple of those samples in. We've only got another 15-20 minutes here. Then I think Sublux is going to do a live stream. Foxy Galaxy says, or subgenre. I wonder what other genres are going to be made, or subgenres. Honestly, maybe at the end of one of our seasons, we'll discover a new genre. Sublux is asking a question. I like to share this stuff for other people trying to stream. There's a website called restream.io. It's for multicasting. It's free. It's free unless you try to do things like I was doing in BandLab. It's costing me $20 US a month to do stream to multicast the BandLab custom stream thing URL, but that's whatever. If you want to do one channel on each of the main platforms like Twitch, YouTube, I use DLEP. You can just use Restream.io, and it's super easy. Like, I figured it out my first time ever trying it. It's always been stable. It's always been really good. Restream.io is the website. .io. Let me been waking up earlier. Maybe that's why I'm getting more tired during the live stream. That's a theory. um, Iris says, I just started to think about it because Sub said I was reading what Iris said here. Y'all can read it if y'all want to. As a, I see what you say. I would write that idea down if anything. I think it's a good idea. So Fluxa says, I want to go on you. So if you do YouTube and Twitch, it should be no problem. It should be pretty easy. You just put your stream information from both those channels into Restream, and then you grab your Restream key and you put the Restream into OBS. Thing about OBS is it has a slot for Restream IO already, and you can log in through there, and it makes it super easy for you. Fox Galaxy says, what if one of the tracks in every one of the community collabs album stuff we made our own genre? I think I would love that. In fact, I always try to make my own genre. It's funny when I told Reba, I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of an experimental track. Reba's like, no, not experimental music, as if it was a bad thing. But I just want y'all to know that actually the only way I'm going to make this work is if all the tracks are somewhat experimental, no rules. But I like the idea of us trying to come up with an old genre. We should have a challenge. Make a genre challenge. Iris says, sorry for answering. I just got done. No worry, Iris. Sorry, I'm not super alert with what everyone's saying right now. I'm just trying to speed through this chat. I've noticed that it's almost time to end the stream, and I'm going to start wrapping things up. Restream.io is the website. There's a link for you if you want to grab that. Iris says, in terms of what the track's called and stuff. Let's definitely name it then. Gunshot, is that what you named it? The plot. I do like that. So it looks like I need to set up a YouTube stream. Go ahead and start setting up your stream. I'll do a shout out for your streamer before we end this. Fox says, I suddenly now want to make a polyrhythm like track for the community collabs. I'm all about polyrhythm. Let's do something real quick. We're not gonna actually do it, but I'm gonna show you some of my favorite apps over here. Fox Galaxy, haven't been here to see the new camera yet. It works. So we got camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Poly, I love Poly stuff, and you can probably find some third-party apps, some free downloads, some free plugins or whatever to make these rhythms. But I've got this is a really cool one called. Oh, look at that screen. This is me purposely getting sidetracked so we can just like kill the rest of this time by me talking about apps. But I just want y'all to know that the tracks, since it's all for fun and we've got plenty of time, there's no real time limit. Everything will get done steady. We'll just be steady working on all the stuff one day at a time, and we're not going to feel rushed, but we'll get all the tracks done eventually. And everyone that sends samples will make the best use of them. Anyways, this is a cool Poly synth here. You got all these dots. Let me turn on some audio, maybe we can hear it. I'm just going to spend a couple minutes here. So I want to experiment here. Best way to turn on audio here. Audio record. Go audio. 2. Play. These are Poly because like they're really not any grid. What really puts them on a grid is how it restarts, is the loop itself that restarts. I have to learn this app honestly, but you grab one of these, you can grab the key, you can switch it, like this red circle and the rest of it. I don't have an actual Apple Pen. This is just one of those sticky stylus. I mean, those rubber stylus. What's neat about this is you can load your own samples in here. So it has all these built-in little synth engines, but actually the best part about it is click here and you get the sample here. Anyways, you can grab. I have all my samples in here. These are all the same samples I have on the Google Drive. Not the MPA samples, but my samples. Got percussion, kicks, hats, snares, all that stuff here. You can even make drum beats using this method. Anyways, that's a cool one. And then I got this one. It's I don't know what this is called. I don't know, but this one's neat because it's based on shapes. So like, if I was to hit play, um, so that plays like that. Is this even coming through the live stream? Seems to be. It's kind of quiet. So the shapes look like it changed the background shape, like the. And then as that little dot goes over the different lines, those are like different notes on the keyboard. I can make the resolution more fine. You got different patterns here. Then you turn on two. I don't think this is the best camera like view for the iPad or whatever the best thing, but it's you can like randomize the shapes. You put a drum beat behind this, you get some really nice poly rhythm sounds. Crazy. Good way to turn it. Then you got these. Poly music. All right, I get excited about that. So you said something. And Diety Dub says this sounds like music for a free mobile game. Yeah, well, you gotta build your own sounds in there, really make it sound better. But you gotta. This actually has synth engines for all these too. So you go here. Where is it at? So you can actually model some synth with this. No joke. It's got presets and all that stuff. But I mean, you got all your normal synth controls here for the most part. Pretty nice. There's a couple other polysynths and stuff I have too, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. One of the ones is the one I start the stream with, that little music playing thing kind of there. It's kind of a polysynth thing, more of just a big random. Anyways, Fox, I added this extra camera in if you saw it because you got here later, but I'm experimenting. I'm gonna find actual purpose of using this on stream more often because I got so much little music. We can sample all this stuff. Got great drum machines, all kinds of stuff. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. What I want to do is pull up this one more time. Insky and Xandit. Let's go to Insky pack real quick. Insky. Send me what you made, Fox. I want to hear it. Let's go. Turn off this camera. My mind is like slow motion right now. Weird. Okay, let's go Insky pack. A lot of this stuff is not really labeled with the key necessarily, so these are still very raw. It's like a C. Whoa. Yeah, I want to use a lot of this stuff, but if you notice what we got here, these are like this is kind of why I was saving these till the end anyways, because these are like a lot of those effects that we can use to like pepper into any of the tracks. So you just got like, we could build something around that, but that's just like a short little loop. We got a, we can use that somewhere. You know, like stabs and stuff and like effects. We have some drum loops here we can use. All right, but for this track, I think we're gonna go with like this, or this thing here. Let's go with this Death Wish bass loop. Good. Okay, so this is not gonna actually cut off the very first part here, and we're gonna kind of stretch this around and make it fit to the track. Death Wish. Make them think of Death Note. You know what I need to do before I forget? Let's open up the spreadsheet again. The Bluxa. Oh, you're already here. Foxy Galaxy. I ended up putting your white noise in on this track, so we need to put your name here. Go insert and below Fox. This is collab 1 from yesterday. I put that white noise sweep into Foxy Galaxy. Alpha J. Okay, it's not on here. So this one we did pretty good. We spent 2 days on it, but we did pretty good on the first one. Ski Line did, because I still think we're missing like some key samples that are gonna make the track all come together really. But we still got everyone in there. Now we've been working on collab 8. Let's put a little indicator here of the ones that we've done here. So I'll just, for now, I'll just put like a, that's just like a little indicator for me to remember which ones we're working on. So collab 1 we've already done. We're gonna go collab 8. Go and do like that one. Collab 8 now. In ski sample we got one. Let's jump over to Zandit pack. Oh, but first the C sample, we're gonna pitch it up also to C sharp. This is the C sample that I just pulled out of Inski's pack. Low Poly Tea Tree is the name it goes by in Discord. Y'all probably know him as Low Poly Tea Trees. Producer name is Inski. Where I got this sample from, and it was a C. It was in the key of C, so I just pitched it up to C sharp. Turn on. What we need to do is do like some multi-band side chaining on this track big time. Just the side chain is not working. The drum's too fast for that kind of side chaining. But I like these sounds. We can make this work. It's just, again, this is the guy we picked the hardest track to work with today. But I was happy to pick it because, well, because I was having such a hard time picking a track anyways. Subluxa, shout out. Let's just do this one. I think it was a good choice, but it's gonna take some work. Definitely one of the harder ones. Be a noisy track in a good way. And Daddy says I have like 50 chicken sticks and stuff because he's the pepperoni. Me too right now, and I'm super hungry. But luckily, I get to go eat in 9 minutes. Fox Galaxy says I'm stealing that name. Death Wish. Oh wait a minute. You know what? I might wait another hour to eat. Trying a new thing. I'm gonna start pulling off 3-hour streams. Not the Twitch and YouTube stream. I'm gonna do the last hour, the third hour. It's gonna be the Band Lab stream I've been talking about. I keep talking about scheduling it and trying to split it up, and it's not gonna really work for a scheduled stream. I think the only way it's gonna work is if I do a 3-hour stream where the first 2 hours is the normal MPA Production stream. The third hour, I have to end the Twitch and YouTube because of copyright and stuff, but we're going to be playing other people's music all the time over there on Band Lab. So it didn't work out today because when I started the stream, it wasn't working on Band Lab, so I'm going to have to figure out why that wasn't working. But what I'm going to try to do, if I can multicast the Band Lab like tomorrow and it works again, I'm going to the third hour, like at the end of the Twitch stream, I'm going to end it, say goodbye to everybody, and let the people on Band Lab know that if they stick around, share a track. And then I'm going to end the stream. Oh, Subluxa, I forgot you're streaming too. Oh, it's going to be hard to cater to everyone else's thing. I'm just listening to music though, Subluxa. So, here's the thing. You can stream at the same time. I'm just going to be on Band Lab. You can share your tracks that you're working on. Just keep uploading the Band Lab and send me demos while we're working on them. We'll check them out. I don't know. I'll think about it. In fact, I'll let you know. I can't really, I gotta find the best time in my schedule to make it work. Can't really focus on other people's like schedules, but I don't want to interfere with Sublux's awesome stream he just started doing daily right after this stream. Robert Jackson says, just wake up. Sorry, I'm like, just woke up. Sorry, like, hey, no worries, Robert Jackson. Are you Jake from yesterday? Just different name? And if not, forgive me. Also, Robert, we're just now ending this stream, but we do the same time every day. I don't know if you, it's just no big deal. You can catch it tomorrow. We also have the replays on YouTube. And Daddy says, if you're listening to music, couldn't you use the opportunity to have guest speakers on stream? Yes. Oh, that reminds me. Coming up soon, we are gonna have some guests. Ira's probably gonna be the first guest. I gotta actually. KK, Mr. KK. I just don't know all your names. Robert Jackson's Mr. KK. Mr. KK, I saw your message on the Discord and also have made you VIP on the Twitch side of things. Gave you VIP over there. Okay, Subluxa, just go live. Don't worry about me. I'm not gonna interfere with you. Eventually, we're gonna have guests eventually, but I'm gonna actually plan the guests. Talk to y'all first. I've already talked to Ira before voice chat, but we're gonna have to like have a normal voice chat conversation before off air just to make sure we vibe. Not in a bad way. I don't mean that bad way. I'm thinking that's just a professional thing people do for the most part, and make sure we understand we're on the same page. I do have some rules for the stream. And we'll just go over those rules. Also, I'm gonna have to. I want to ask questions. I'm gonna be asking Ira some questions about some different things. I'm just coming up with some questions for that. I do want to have different guests at different times, and I want it to feel laid back, so I don't want to be all like interview style, but definitely want to take the time to interview some people in the future at some point, and then also just have people hanging out, whatever. Sublux is using text to speech. That's exactly what I was talking about. We gotta talk to make sure this it even work. You're like, by the way, and you're not the only one. Foxy Galaxy has come into the speech channels with in the Discord speech channels with the voice speech on. Y'all like one and the same now. Okay, let me go up here to this FL Studio and save this before I get too much more lost. These are just temporary save. 10, 11, 21. So if I was to recap on how this week has been going and how the season's been going all together, I actually feel very successful. Don't get me wrong. It just feels like it's more chaotic than I planned on it being, and a little bit more overwhelming than I planned on it being. And it's 100% understandable because of the amount of people that we got involved, the amount of samples we got involved, the way I did the stages. It is all just a result of how we've been doing this, and it's a good thing because, like I'm always talking about, I'm learning from this, and I'm trying to come up with the best way to do this. So nothing's written in stone. Y'all are here with me. If y'all want to think of it as a beta test for all this, that's basically what it is. We're beta testing some perfect live stream thing that we could have for future live streams, and we're trying to come up with the best way to do it to make it the most interactive, easy to do. Don't seem too overwhelming. I don't want things to seem like they drag on for too long. Like if there's too many projects for too many weeks, someone's project barely gets touched in comparison to how much we're doing. So I really want to figure out the best system for this, best workflow, and we can come up with something together, beta test. Remember, if y'all remember, like way back in the day on the Amino, how I used to do beta game, or I can't remember what I called it, but I came up with this whole challenge thing, and I was calling it beta test. So I've always had that theme going on, but that's basically what I want to do with these. I want to think of kind of this as like a big just trial test thing for something that could be even better in the future. Fox Galaxy gonna work on polyrhythm tracks. Sublux gonna. Okay, so one thing, I'm not gonna go live on BandLab right now. I'm gonna go live on BandLab maybe in an hour. Don't worry, Subluxa. Think of the BandLab as a companion stream that is just for listening to music. So if you're quick with it, you can upload your projects to BandLab all in real time and just send me a link. Hang out over there while you're working on your stream too. And I'll watch your stream on my phone at the same time. So we're hanging out together if I ever do that. At some point, everyone's streaming. We can't really all revolve around each other's schedule. We always have to just focus on the best time that fits your schedule. And then at some point, we would have to have a really big network of streamers for MPA. And I can kind of like schedule the hosting time when we host different things or whatever. But for the most part, I've just encouraged everyone to try to get your live stream up and running, the best time slot that fits for you, and share it in the Discord. And the more you do it, the easier and the better you'll get at it, and the fun you'll find your niche. Fox Galaxy's getting down on BandLab. Make sure I'll send you all the links to the band and the community, and I'll make sure you have the live links when you go live over there, Fox. I really think it's just a good extra platform to be creative. It's another creative outlet for sure. Another place to share projects in a different way. You can share stems and stuff. That's really cool. Spotify Green Room. What is Spotify Green Room? Grab my phone real quick. Is that an app? All right. I'm gonna take off. It's so Sublux, are you going live now? I will keep everyone. Okay, I will keep everyone update with my official schedule that I come up with for the dual stream system. I definitely want to stream on BandLab. I've talked a lot about it for the past 2 weeks, so y'all know why. But it's got to be a main thing for us here. I've got to really got to make it a main thing for me because I really think it's going to be the best thing for growing a band. I want to set a world record for the largest band in the world. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get 100 person on one track, 100 people on one track. Robert Jackson says, "Oh, BandLab, PC version. My phone left 500 megabytes Play Store. BandLab's where it's at. Robert Jackson, Mr. KK, are you on BandLab already? I can't remember. I've been building it up over there. We're eventually gonna have all our projects on there, and the cool thing is there's a lot of people over there just that are already community family over there, and I think a lot of them will be interested in our community, so they'll join us as much as we'll join them. So, I'm gonna look up Spotify Green Room later on my phone. I gotta pull it up here, but I'm gonna end the stream now. Fox of Galaxy and Mr. KK, I'll send both of y'all the link to the community page for sure, so y'all have that. And there's bands. We've created bands over there. The bands we create the projects inside of the bands. And when you join a band, you can there's just all kinds of different things you can do. But feel bad because I didn't live stream yet on BandLab today. But we've been growing pretty fast. We now have 76 followers, and that all came just in the last, since we've been streaming on there. Post it here. I'll also post it. I'll send you all a message too, but that's the BandLab page. But anyways, once you get there, there's bands. You click on the bands. You can join the bands. You can press to join. This community collab band, 13 members in it. We have another band with 22 members in it. These are all members at some point. They were all members of Amino or something at some point, or have started signing up here recently to the community. You can create projects on there. The really neat part is you can go browse through all the hundreds of projects from other people, and most of them are forkable. You can jump in on them and download their samples and collab with them. I mean, I don't know what's stopping people just using that as an endless free sample bank, honestly, but respectfully, you should reach out to the people and say, hey, download your samples, let's collab. But anyways, it's a really neat platform. All right, I will be back tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see y'all here. You can always message me on Discord to continue the conversation, and you can watch the replays on YouTube and stuff. Daddy says, if you are going for the world record, good luck. There have been cover bands with the whole, I believe it. I know, it's crazy. Whole festival of people all on the song. I recording the make it. I believe that would be kind of hard then. Maybe there's some other legal loophole I could go around to make it like an official band versus like just a big festival band. 1,000 plus. Come on now. My name is Guild 1000. Maybe that'd be the goal. Guild 1000 Discord. We'll make that's too big of a goal, guys. Okay, maybe we can't do it. And Daddy shot the dream down. And Daddy has shot the dream down cold. We're not gonna make it. We'll be the second largest band. I believe you. I believe it. It seems like too simple of an idea. Marching band. Okay, and Daddy, I get it. Get it. We'll cap ourselves at 100. Just playing. At some point, it would be smart for us just to pull samples from the members we already have in the band and start focusing on like the members we already have. But it's even easier for me and more enticing for me to just like invite 20 new members to the community every time we do a season. So we'll see how that goes. And Daddy, we'll hit some record. We just gotta find something that hasn't been done before. All right, thanks again, everybody. Anyone that I didn't reach out to or talk to you, I actually do always recap in my mind, like, did I ignore anyone on accident or anything? I don't mean to do that. And if there's anything else that you're waiting on me to do and it seems like I forgot, probably because I actually did forget, please do just remind me. Spotify Green Room. I got that on my phone. I'm gonna pull it up here afterwards, see what it's all about. It's a thing where you can talk to others. What? Have you seen Clubhouse and radio and stereo radio? There's a bunch of apps actually lately that I've been seeing that are voice chat only rooms, and I've met a couple people in them by doing just what I always do, jumping in there and trying to meet people to collab with and stuff. But Robert Jackson is also interested in Spotify. Everyone look it up. Spotify. We're all about the Spotify here. We're gonna be Spotify playlisting soon. I'm gonna end the stream, go get me something to eat, I guess. But while I do that, I am gonna go ahead and pull up Spotify Green Room, take a look at it. If you can create rooms over there, invite me to a room, and we'll see what it's all about. We'll experiment with it. Maybe we can make a community version. I don't know how it is. I'm just assuming what it's about. But if we can create a music production arena green room, I'll be all over that. kind of like Discord without tech. Oh my gosh, this is like the next big thing. Where do I invest stock? This is me trying to get out of here, but actually not trying to get out of here. What is that? Box of Spotify green box room. Let's go Spotify green room. Spotify green room. All right, everybody, let's learn real quick what Spotify green room is. Spotify green room, talk music, sports, and culture live. Wow, they're gonna really put those other ones I was talking about out of business. I've been on a couple. I've been experimenting with voice chat only apps. I found a few different ones. Like I said, I've met people on. One's called like Stereo, I think, and one's called Clubhouse. There's another one called Can, something like that. Anyways, so this is cool. Let's see. This is talk music, sports, culture. Like to join the conversation on Green Room, download the app and sign up for free. Log in to Spotify info. Okay, well, y'all find me there for sure. I'll do something for the community, and whoever wants to join in there. Maybe we'll do that for hosting our podcast interview style things, and we'll start definitely doing our Spotify playlist, much like we do on SoundCloud. This community support playlist coming soon. Spotify. Hey, I need to also go get ready for the live, the competition coming tomorrow. Just remind everybody we're launching Producer Battle 11 tomorrow. Don't want to catch that. This is cool. Thanks for sharing that, Fox of Galaxy. You know I'm all about that kind of stuff. I'm sure a lot of people here would be too. Oh my God. It's in beta. It's the best time to jump into things. I'm all about that. Be part of the development process. All right, I'll see y'all later. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Message me on Discord. Continue conversation. I will be there, of course, as always. Send me more samples. We will. I say send me more samples like we have room. Send me more samples if nothing else. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks again.